There's no debate. It's clear as day. In 2022, one thing everyone from past legends to your favorite football-loving uncle can agree on is Benzema's Ballon d'Or. He's proven that he deserves it. You don't have to be a Madridista to acknowledge that Karim Benzema peaked last season across every competition. His stats, his performance, and the trophies he has pulled in over the year are more than enough proof. But before we break down Benzema's greatness into digestible bits, we need to address the elephant in the room. Most specifically, why this year's Ballon d'Or is thankfully gonna be different from last year. The rules have changed. The 2021 Ballon d'Or came as a shock to all, including the winner. Why else do you think Messi almost dedicated his award to Lewandowski in his acceptance speech? And while he would later attribute his selection to the Copa America he won for the first time in his career, it still came off as odd. Why? Well, if you watch the Copa, you know that Messi was the third most influential player in that competition behind midfielder Rodrigo de Paul and goalkeeper Emiliano Dibu Martinez. See, everyone loves Messi, but everyone can also agree that Lewandowski deserved the 2021 Ballon d'Or. So it's quite reassuring to know that the organizers have changed the rules since then. These are the major differences. 1. The award will be based on performances over a single season rather than a calendar year, which explains why it will be held in October instead of December. And it also means the World Cup won't skew anyone's perception. The second major change will see a shift of focus from trophies won to the individual performance of the players, considered regardless of their team's legacy, quality, or status. Again, it makes a boatload of sense because if they stick to this, we might have less controversial Ballon d'Or wins. We'll have less recency bias and a better chance for quality yet obscure players stepping into the spotlight via nominations. Now, Karim Benzema might be from a team that sits at the top in terms of legacy, quality, and status, but it doesn't take anything from his individual brilliance. After his dismal performance in the 2017 and 2018 season, everyone believed that Benzema, who had clocked 30 at the time, was a finished player. And to make matters worse, Ronaldo chose to make an exit for Juventus around that period, leaving a massive void in Madrid's attack. Before his exit, Benzema had been an incredible team player doing most of Ronaldo's dirty work and creating chances for him. Their relationship was mutually beneficial. It was because of Ronaldo's goals that Benzema topped the assist charts at Real Madrid, and it was because of Benzema that Ronaldo scored as many goals as he did. However, Benzema wasn't in consideration for the Ballon d'Or. He wasn't that good at the time. And when Ronaldo left, the biggest question on the table was, who would become Madrid's new talisman? Then the 2018-2019 season came and Benzema scored 21 goals in 36 league games. By the following season, he stayed consistent with another 21 goals in 36 games. In 2021, Benzema had gotten better, netting 23 goals in 34 games. And this year he proved he was the fine wine that aged perfectly with time, when he scored 27 goals in 32 league games. Benzema has proved beyond any reasonable and unreasonable doubt that he is Madrid's new talisman, and he is the successor, the confident leader who can carry a team as heavy as Madrid on his shoulders with ease. This year he witnessed this manifest when he ran 12 assists in the same 32 games. Post-Ronaldo, the Frenchman has forged an incredible legacy in Real Madrid. He ties in with Raul as the second all-time goal scorer behind Ronaldo. And do you know the funniest thing? We haven't even talked about the stats from his legendary campaign in this year's Champions League. Like the La Liga, Benzema peaked in the Champions League scoring 15 goals with mind-blowing efficiency. He is the second highest goal scorer this year, 2 goals ahead of Lewandowski, whose team was knocked out in the quarterfinals. Right now, he has the third highest goals scored in a single season of the Champions League. Only 2 other players have a higher single-season goal record in the history of the competition. Cristiano Ronaldo with 16 goals in 2016, and of course Cristiano Ronaldo with 17 goals of 2014. In the last La Liga season, Benzema was the number 1 goal scorer, the second highest across 5 European leagues, had the second highest assist, and was first in non-penalty goals in La Liga, while also sharing the most penalties in the league with Valencia's Carlos Soler.
Again, and this time, Soler past Courtois, who got a hand to it.
Top in shot creating action, top in key passes and carries into the penalty area, and top in goal creating action and top points, 1 per match. At this point, we can almost hear Benzema screaming like Brad Pitt's Achilles from the movie Troy, "Is there no one else?" Now, before we begin counting unhatched eggs, let's consider the other players that could challenge Benzema for Ballon d'Or. Let's see how they measure up. The number one prospect for Ligue 1 is undeniably Kylian Mbappe. But even with 39 league goals, 26 assists, and the Ligue 1 Cup all under his belt, PSG's early fallout from the Champions League will be a major decider why Mbappe might not crack the podium. And even if he does, he's most likely not going to win. Why? Well, because Germany had an arguably stronger contender in Lewandowski. Lewandowski had more goals in his league and the Champions League than Mbappe, but we doubt it's going to count against Benzema's claim to the prize. But wait, we're not done yet. There are other favorite players that some people, we're looking at you, Yaya Toure, have been endorsing above the Big Bens. Unsurprisingly, these players are Liverpool's Sadio Mane and his teammate Mo Salah. After a consistent season form and after getting dangerously close to championship glory, which a Benzema-backed Madrid dramatically denied them in historic fashion, there's a strong argument for both players. But again, let's be honest. While Salah might have impressive Premier League stats with his 23 league goals, they don't measure up to Benzema's 27 in La Liga. And while he might have more assists than the Frenchman, it's unlikely that it'll be enough to sway the votes. Moreover, Liverpool failed to win the Premier League and the Champions League. There's a stronger argument for Mane, and it has nothing to do with volume. One could argue that Mane's goals have been timely and decisive, coming at critical moments like the Champions League semi-final where the team needed it the most.
He's got Salah there too, and Sadio Mane!
Coupled with the African Nations Cup he won, you can understand why Yaya Toure believes he deserves the Ballon.
Mane! Senegal! Our African champion!
But the same argument could be made for Benzema. On 2 occasions in the round of 16 and against Chelsea in the semi-final, Benzema scored not 1, not 2, but 3 hat-trick goals to move Madrid ahead in the competition. So whether we like it or not, it all boils down to the Benz. Or does it? You might have noticed that 2 Ballon d'Or heavyweights have been visibly missing from this group chat. And it's for good reason. Ronaldo's Man U relocation has turned out to be the least desirable career outcome he intended, and his decent 23 goals have not been enough to push the flailing team forward or even make him a contender for the top prize. Messi, on the other hand, has had a slow start in PSG by any standard. He wasn't better than Mbappe in either goals or assists, and he has been outperformed in other footballing departments that he once dominated. So it's pretty unlikely that the Argentine would be getting an 8th Ballon d'Or. At this point, it's difficult to find any other argument that would disprove Benzema's claim for the prize, except of course, you unearth controversies from the Frenchman's past. There is a possibility that his 2015 blackmail case, which saw him missing out on the French team and World Cup glory, might still return to haunt him this year, particularly because he was found guilty late last year. But again, the victim of the blackmail attempt, Mathieu Valbuena, has publicly and objectively endorsed Benzema for the award. And if Valbuena of all people can endorse Benzema, then it's safe to assume the voters most likely would. Undoubtedly, Karim Benzema has been a polarizing figure for much of his career, but last season was his professional thesis, his opus dei, his statement of result to anyone who would dare doubt his greatness. And whether he wins the Ballon d'Or or not, you can bet that history will remember him as the most deserving of the top prize. Let us know down in the comments if you believe Benzema should win the Ballon d'Or or should someone else. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching and see you next time.